Thanks for tuning back into Strength FM. Nicky Boy and I are back in action here with the boys from Active Habits. Something a little bit different today. We're going to be talking about a little bit more about group training, outdoor group training. But these boys have a little bit of a twist to how they do things. You guys want to introduce yourselves and talk to us a little bit about Active Habits? And
yeah, cool. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, so Nathan and I, we started Active about 18 months ago. Do the strength and conditioning training, so outdoor approach, a little bit different to sort of the usual outdoor training where it's like, battle ropes and boot camp style. We've introduced it with doing like deadlifts, squats, bench press, overhead press, so incorporating all the strength sort of movements, but then also adding a bit of conditioning work as well at the end, so sled runs and things like that.
Yeah. Goal is to obviously build strength for the local community, especially the guys in the gym. They go to the gym and they don't know what they're doing and they can't afford a trainer, so we kind of reached out to each other and thought of an innovative idea of strength training in a park and bring our own equipment down, so that's the reason behind it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's always different. It's almost like you from what I've been seeing, it's like you bring the gym to them. It's like you can train outdoors, you bring the equipment to them, and as you said, it's not like the normal boot camps of people just getting smashed, doing sprints, 300 burpees, they're actually you're using actual strength and conditioning principles and applying it to them just in a different environment.
For sure. Yeah. So we've been going like at Bella Vista now for a while, and it's been really good. We've got a few clients there and they're actually lifting close to what Mitch and I are. Right. Our protocols must be working, but no, it's really good. It's good to see the guys get down there, and obviously the community when they're all training together as well.
Yeah.
It's definitely a good feel doing it outdoors and in a park, the strength and conditioning training.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. And then how do you program? Do you work in blocks and you got testing, retesting?
Yeah, so we used to do a lot of strength testing. We don't do it so much now. We had a few more ladies get on board and they don't seem to like the 1RM testing a lot, which we used to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do it in blocks of kind of 4 weeks where we'll change up rep ranges, keep it low, and then kind of up it then and go into accumulation and intensification phases and whatnot. But yeah, so that's how we program. A lot of compound lifts, so at least once a day there'll be a compound lift, whether it be upper body or lower body, depending on the rep ranges for that week obviously. And then we'll go into maybe a superset where it might be agonist antagonist, so chest and back. Might throw in tempo in that superset, might just do
high reps.
10 to 12 reps.
Yep.
And then we'll do kind of a functional exercise, whether that be loaded carries, loaded slam balls, or sled runs, and then conditioning. So that's like normally as a team we kind of have battle ropes where we do like team conditioning, accumulate to 1,000 reps, who gets there first or something like that.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. And a lot of the type of clientele you have, are they kind of like just general populations? Are they a lot of them kind of unfit? Are they already fit as they come to you? Do you have some athletic populations, like some people like playing footy or maybe powerlifters or strongmen?
Yeah,
like that?
Got a bit of both really. We've got a few young guys, a few 18, 19-year-olds that play footy, Harold Mats and that. So and they've put on like 5-6 kilos of lean muscle, and they reckon they've improved their game heaps, like in just a year. So and they've been with us. One of them in particular has been with us for about 18 months, and he's put on a fair bit of muscle. He's reckons his footy, like his dad train with him as well, and he reckons his game's improved heaps. So and that's just from doing obviously all the heavy weights, and but then we've also got just your general pop too, so guys that have never even stepped foot in a gym before, like
or even like the guys that have kind of been in the gym and they've resting 2-3 minutes between each machine, not knowing what they're doing, kind of do that full body kind of stuff every day. They're the kind of people we do attract. Average age is probably
30 to 40.
Yeah, 30 to 40, although we do have younger people as well.
Right.
Obviously more
mainly males, which is different because every boot camp you see is just mums and bubs. So
it is good.
And with those type of people, like say like the footy player, do you tailor any of the programming, or do you it may be just a conversation you have with that person or client about what they're going to do different, like in that session? Is there anything kind of more specific that you do? Or?
Not really. I mean, when it's those guys that are a bit more competitive and a bit more kind of upper edge, I guess, we do make sure that they're hitting numbers more specifically rather than just generalized. So like they're progressing in their lifts and whatnot. But the sessions kind of remain the same for everyone, although they do. The dedicated, they seem to track their weight a bit more, and they know where they're at with everything, so it's easier to progress with them. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
And then how old are you boys? You're fairly young, huh?
Yeah.
23. Nate's 23 tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm 23 tomorrow. So
happy birthday.
Yeah.
Nice. So then you've had the business for 18 months.
18 months,
Southern
2017 March.
Yeah, just Southern 21.
And I guess before you mentioned that you guys kind of connected and said, let's do this. I guess what was the turning point that made you say, okay, like I see this issue, I want to address it, I want to be a part of this change, and this is how I want to do it.
Yeah, when we were at the gym training together, because Nathan and I met at school, when we were 14, year 9.
Yeah.
Probably didn't start training together though till kind of after school when I was at uni. Nathan was doing his certificate 3 and 4.
We were always kind of into it more than our mates. Like they would train, but we would be more into it.
Yeah. And then we just kind of teed it up together, started training a fair bit together, and then that's when we really got into it heaps. And then after about a year or two, that's when we started to see people in the gym, they just didn't really know what they were doing, and Nath was a PT at the time, I was studying at the time, and then
kind of collaborated. It was good. My background's just working in retail at Audi, like the supermarket. Was working like long hours and was pretty young, and they promoted me to like a deputy manager, and they wanted me to keep going through to become like a manager of a store. And obviously my passion didn't lie with that, and my mum was pretty upset when I said I didn't want to do it. And I was like, no, I think I want to like do personal training. Did my course, like Mitch said, got a job at Fit and Fast, the gym. I liked it, but it wasn't for me. I find like, obviously when you're first starting out with personal training too, you train clients that you don't want to be training, and it's not the kind of path I wanted to go down. And like I said,
convinced me not to be a PT.
I
was going to do personal training, and then he was like, just as I finished my course, he was like, oh,
we should do
we should do the group training. It's like shit. So that was just straight out of uni, straight into the group training.
It was a big gamble, and put kind of 10 grand in each, and just said let's go for it. And we actually had a mentor at the time, that helped us. He went to Fit and Fast gyms as well. His name's Nathan Gould. He actually helped us a lot. He did Real Movement as well. So he actually did the similar approach up in Brisbane, and he mentored us for like Skype calls, 10 Skype calls, helped us with marketing, helped us with pretty much everything.
Pretty much saved us. He's still saying now.
We still say it, like if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be kind of where we are. So obviously mentors, if you invest in the right one, they definitely help.
Then we did the Real Movement with you, Nick, with Keegan. That was again pretty good. Even just the wellness side of that, then we started adopting that to the clients as well, and helping them with, because he's got pretty good knowledge on the strength and that too, so that helped us too. But that was obviously later down the track.
The mentors definitely they held their place, and they helped us a lot with even just little things like how we structured payments, and because obviously we didn't know to do group training, we're going to just do blocks of 6 weeks for 200 cash, and like we just all over the place.
Sounds like you guys just went like balls to the walls, like let's just do this, like just like I guess in those early days, like before you had mentors and you had more structure. How was it then? Like, I'm sure there would have been times where you're just like standing around the park, there's no one there.
It was
like, it's one of it's those times where it's easy just to throw the towel in. What kept you there, and then what made you find like a business mentor, and then I guess redirect your energy and your passion?
Well, I suppose when we started, it was kind of just like friends and family, like, and just like people that we'd been working with, like we just got them to come down and.
From the gym and from IJ.
And then I suppose they just started telling a few people, and then when we saw that, like, it was kind of that word of mouth, and then that's when, obviously before the mentor and before the Facebook advertising and that, when we saw it started to pick up a little bit, and there's a few new faces, like, we don't know these guys, like, who are these? They're not friends, they're not family. That's when we thought we could, potentially take this further.
Because it wasn't going to be, like, we were working part-time at the time as well, so this wasn't obviously our stable income.
Yeah.
We didn't even pay each other for the first kind of 6 months. We were like dipping into savings.
Yeah.
And we're like, we've got to keep going and just keep that ball rolling. And once we talked to people, we found out what they liked, what they didn't like, and we just kind of went with that. And then, everyone was kind of talking about it within the community, saying like how different it is, and it's a good approach. And we're like, all right, we can keep this going and make something out of it, and haven't really looked back since.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And it's grown into something massive. You've got a couple franchises now, heaps of members.
Yeah.
We've got two locations. Just start up the second one. We've got about 100 members, so it's about 80 at the original one. There's about 20 to 30 at the second one, so that's slowly growing too, which is good. Goal is to have probably 5 take over sort of the Hills District area. Have about 100 at each would be a pretty good goal.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And do you have any trainers that you have underneath you that you've been mentoring yourselves, or not ready for that yet?
Yeah, not so
mentoring.
much mentoring.
Yeah.
More having just two guys working for us. They're really good. So really switched on, good trainers. They're 100% into it as well. So it makes it a lot easier for us when they're
young
live
too.
and breathe it. Yeah.
Really young.
Yeah. So we got them. We picked them up, I think, mid this year, so around June-ish. Yeah. And then one of them actually runs the location in the ponds now, so he looks after that, and Mitch and I look after the one in Bella Vista.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
And then before you touched on community, how have you gone creating that community between your members and between the different franchises?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
We did stuff up at one point. We Mitch and I were kind of in between both locations,
Right.
and we had our current members at Bella Vista, but because we were spending so much time at the new one, these guys weren't feeling like they weren't loved, so they kind of started dropping off a little
Or
bit.
following us back to over
Yeah.
the other one.
But then we'll come back.
Yeah.
So that was definitely that's why he's in charge as well, because it's a learning curve in terms of looking after that many people. You just want the people that you know and that kind of knows your training style. And now at the ponds, the new clients that come in, they don't know any different. They don't know what it's like to train with Mitch and I. So we've kind of kept it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a friend of mine, he owns a couple of outdoor franchises, and one thing he says, like, people come for the training, but they stay for the community,
Yeah.
and they become a
That's
part
it.
of something bigger.
Yeah.
That's it.
What I was going to ask is, how do you make people feel a part of a community, but also create a personal relationship with them at the same time? Like, how do you create that balance? Because you got 100 members, a lot of people.
Yeah.
How do you balance that?
It is hard. We try to do like different events and that every now and again. Like we usually get together sort of every 3 or 4 Saturdays and do like a barbecue or a sort of like a CrossFit day, I suppose.
Yeah, it is a
So,
CrossFit day, yeah.
and I suppose that kind of brings everyone together. But then we do like touch footy days and that as well. So it's kind of away from the training, and it kind of gives everyone a chance to kind of meet and talk. But in terms of keeping them in the community, it's just little things
Chats,
like
yeah.
we have like after 6 months they get an active. They're part of the active fam, so they get a shirt and it's
Mitch
just
has one on there, yeah.
active fam shirt. So
Yeah.
and that, I guess when they get it there, you should see the smile on their face. Like, oh shoot, I'm part of it.
Yeah.
And then I suppose when you got the new guys coming through and they see everyone else wearing those shirts, they're like, oh, how do you get that? Like when you're with us for 6 months, you become part of the community, and I suppose that kind of drives people into staying on longer, and it just keeps that community just keeps sort of growing and building.
And just like little things, like just taking kind of a couple of minutes out just to talk about weekends, kids. Like Mitch and I know all of our members now, like how many kids they got, and like what they kind of did on the weekend, and you ask them about it. Oh, like they remember, like just things like that. That you just take that little bit of time out to talk to each and every one. I think that helps a lot with the retention and the making people feel kind of welcome as well.
Yeah, feel loved.
And outside of the training, in that hour or 2 hours that you're actually training with them, how do you then, how's the business structured? Like, is it people like they book in? Do you physically call or message them? Like, how does that work?
Yep. So with that aspect, normally we will put an ad up on Facebook, and we'll get a few people that come in, and then we will contact them. So we'll be on the phone for kind of 30 minutes each person, just to see if they're right for the actual spot, and if they're actually wanting to do the spot or train with us. And then that pretty much takes up a lot of the day when we're trying to recruit new people. If not, it's just marketing. So like sending out emails, doing all those kind of free blogs and all that kind of stuff to keep them interested, posting on members group, all that kind of stuff is normally the duration of the day. Obviously we have to train ourselves as well. So by the time you do all that, you're pretty much going back in the afternoon.
Yeah. And do people stick to like the same times every week? Is like they're 3 to 5 days and they're there the same group every time?
So we do an 8-week challenge. So they come in, and in that 8 weeks it's unlimited training. So they just come to as many sessions as they want. So we have options in the morning and night. So there's two in the morning, 2 at night, Monday to Friday. So they can come to as many of them as they want. We just got like a PT Minder, like a booking app. They just book in, it notifies us, we know when they're coming. If they're not coming, we'll send them a text, give them a call if they haven't come, 3 or 4 days in a row, see if they're all good. But that's kind of how we manage it really, like who does and doesn't come. But yeah, we recommend, like we just say 3 to 4 a week is fine, and most of them come 3 to 4. And like I said, if they only come once or twice that week, we usually just send them a quick text or give them a call and just say everything all good. And then after the 8 weeks, it just runs into like another 8-week sort of maintenance program. And then after that, it's when we have like the active fam. So it's kind of been 6 months.
Any events coming up at the moment?
Not planned.
We had the Christmas party.
Yeah, we had a Christmas party. That was Mitch got a bit silly, I think. Well, the clients were they were giving us a few drinks and wanted to see another side of us, which was a bit funny. But I think next year we'll get together. We've been saying it for a bit. We'll get together and do a either like a touch footy or a CrossFit day. The CrossFit on the Saturday morning tends to get a fair few people there. Just another session that kind of morning and night people can both make on the Saturday. And that's a whole different structure in how we plan that session, and they seem to like it, which is awesome.
Beautiful. And how do you find, like, obviously you guys are good mates, like how do you find working together as mates? Like obviously you're gonna have to have like hard conversations sometimes, like you gotta pull your weight, how do you find that dynamic? How does that work?
It's actually alright. Like I don't know, it's pretty there's never really been any sort of problem. I suppose that's why it's running so smoothly too. Like we know when to knuckle down and when to work. So we just put that business hat on, and then we know when to let loose a bit and have some fun. And I mean, we hang out on the weekends still as well, like aside from work. So it's we usually work Saturdays, and then even some of the time Saturday nights we just hang out, and that's we just kind of let loose. And
I think the thing is also like if Mitch was telling me to do something, or if I was telling him to do something, like just kind of like listen to them rather than like thinking it's a dig, if that makes sense. So like if you do have that kind of vibe and you're like, oh well, maybe I'm doing this wrong, then it works a lot smoother. But we have our own tasks and what to do. At the start it was everywhere, and that's why it probably didn't go as smoothly. But now I'm more on kind of setting out blogs and free content and getting people attracted that way, and even meeting up with people and networking, all that kind of stuff, where Mitch is more on the marketing side on Facebook, and then on the phone, so calling and getting the new people in. Although we do help each other a little bit, it is kind of set tasks like that.
So you like leverage off each other's strengths.
Pretty much. Exactly right.
And then you're both early 20s. Before we touched on getting loose, having that fun side. I remember when I was younger, I spent heaps of time partying, and looking back, it was a lot of wasted time.
You mean younger? You still do.
Do you ever get tempted into that party life? And how do you balance the work and play?
It is.
You do get
I think when it's summer, everyone kind of does party a little bit more, which is just part of it. Although at the start we used to, because it wasn't so serious, we used to not worry too much. But now it's like, oh no, like we've got a big week, we've got to get 10 or 15 people in, or we've got to do like a new campaign, or we have to do something. Then we realise, oh well, then it's not worth it going out.
Staying with the missus.
Yes. Have some dinner or something. But we still have fun. Like
we still go out. I mean, I suppose it depends. Yeah, like Nate said, it depends on the time of year. Like kind of you kind of hustle, I suppose, a bit in that sort of March to sort of September period, and then it kind of
lets loose a little bit.
As it gets into spring and summer.
Which doesn't. We work hard during the winter periods, and it's like it works well then coming into summer, because it's kind of like, oh yeah, I've worked hard, we're in a good position. And right now, like for the last 4 or 6 weeks, we haven't been doing as much during the day because we can't have new intake, or we haven't been doing new intakes, obviously because of the time off we're having in the Christmas period. So the next intake will start on the 28th
of
January.
Yeah.
So that's on the 7th we start back up, and that's when we'll start calling and like getting new people in for that intake.
Yeah. And you mentioned mentioned like the winter months. So obviously that's a completely different dynamic. It's a different game. You know, people don't want to be outside when it's 3 degrees.
We don't want to be. It's so hard.
Yeah. So what do you do for, firstly, retention, secondly, to try and bring new people in? Like that's probably even harder.
It is
harder.
So what do you do about that?
But like even on the phone, like I mean, some of these people that want to join, they're overweight or they're not happy, and we find out exactly why they want to do it and why they want to join and why they want to change their life around. And I guess it's back to them and how bad they want it, and we just say, like, you know, there's never a right time or there's never a right place to do it. You just have to kind of commit, and if you commit, then that's when the results show. In saying that though, winter you get a lot more no's than what you do yeses because of the
outdoors.
The outdoor training, and we're wearing like 3 or 4 layers with thermals. Like it gets cold, really cold, and
especially
we have a 5:30 a.m. class. So.
Yeah, cool. I used to do like group training in the morning. I remember in the winter months, and it was like in the North Sydney area. And it was a 6 a.m. class. And some days it's like 3 degrees.
I know. You can't even feel your hands. Trying to get up the program. It's not working. But yeah, it is definitely harder in winter. We're also with the 8-week challenge. It's like an 8-week agreement as well, so they know before that when they're joining that they're committing for 8 weeks. So that's the retention side of things as well.
We get them all in April while it's still a little bit hot. Gets to June, like shit.
Locked in.
But yeah, they're pretty aware of that at the start too. So I mean, like you said, it comes back down to them and how bad they kind of want to do it.
And it's definitely a lot easier though over the summer period.
Yeah. And it's like the community that retains them, really.
Exactly.
It's like creating that community vibe. That they know it's not just them out in the cold, they're out there with you know, the other, say, 10 people, how many people there are.
Exactly right, yeah.
And then with so many members, like up to 100 members now, how do you keep everyone, I guess, accountable towards their own individual goals?
Yeah, that's when it becomes hard. Yeah. So like obviously when we first have new clients on, we really look after these new clients.
Yeah.
We give them heaps of video content. They do get charged a little bit more, but we give them a lot of information, and that's purely based off the fact that they can sustain the results when they do stay on with us, and they don't need as much help. In saying that though, we probably talk to them about their goals probably once every 6 to 8 weeks and see where they're at and where they want to be, and that's only just a little chat. But when we first get people in, it's like, you know, on the scales, we have a Sculpt machine where we weigh, we get their body fat, which can be a bit inaccurate sometimes. But yeah, and then they're on the scales, they're doing waist measurements, we're talking to them every single session. Are you following the eating? Are you doing this right? Are you doing that right? And making sure that even we get them to do a lot of fasting as well, so making sure that they're doing the fasting and whatnot.
And the Facebook group's good too. We've got a members group, so all the members are in that. So just try posting there, you know, daily. So it's just little things like, you know, post, what's everyone eating for lunch, and I suppose it just kind of keeps everyone a little bit more accountable as well, because I mean, like you said, you're with them for that hour, but then the rest of the day, like it's kind of, it's up to them. So if you kind of, you know, posting them, everyone uses Facebook, so if you're still posting on there, you know, quite a fair bit, and even like Nathan and I, we post when we're at training or what we're eating, so it's like, they're doing the same
they're doing
thing,
what we're doing at training, so.
And if they say other people posting healthy foods and training too, like, and it's like, oh shit, like everyone else is.
Yeah, they're more inclined to post themselves.
Keeps them a bit more accountable. We do like presentation nights after the 8 weeks, I suppose, as well. Keeps them accountable too. Give out a few awards, and then that's when we do all the, you know, the weighing again and the measurements again, and so that in that initial 8 weeks we focus on
really look after
a lot. We have guys losing like 10, 12 kilos.
In 8 weeks.
In 8 weeks.
That's awesome.
Huge, and putting muscle on too. If it was a proper DEXA scan, it'd be actually really interesting to see how much muscle they put on in that, because First, with the new guys, we obviously group them up with each other, even if they have had a bit of experience, and we go light on them the first week just to see where they're at and how they're feeling, because obviously it's full body sessions most of the time. The DOMs are pretty serious when you first start doing resistance training, so that's why we do slowly program for them, making sure that their form's on point, and then after the 7 weeks, that's when we kind of push them and they build strength fairly quickly and get some good results. So it'd be interesting to see on an actual DEXA scheme what they get.
And with nutrition, you mentioned you touched on nutrition.
Yeah.
Do you give like general guidelines or things about fasting, or do you do more like do you give them more like specific?
It's more specific.
Things?
A few options.
Yeah.
But it is more specific options on what we kind of get them to eat. We do a kind of paleo keto approach for the new guys, especially if they're wanting to lose weight at the start, and then we bombard them with like information videos and demonstration videos so they can understand the form and the technique away from training, because obviously if there's 12 or 16 in the class and they're doing a deadlift and we're trying to tell them to keep their lats on and they don't even know what lats are, like it's so hard to do that when there's 2 other people waiting to go in. So we send them a lot of video content to watch in their own time, which works well.
It's good. It's good. I think that's definitely different, like especially to other even outdoor groups, even like personal trainers. Like you invest so much more into your members, like by sending them all that content, and just and all the service you give them outside of that training time. I think that's really for sure like really good. Awesome.
That's where we kind of try to focus as well on, because it's one thing giving them 100% at just an hour session, but it's another thing that to give them everything on top of that as well. It takes time, takes effort, takes knowledge to do all those videos.
And that's why we have 2 trainers as well at every session, just for that, to keep that sort of personal sort of touch there as well. I mean, a lot of outdoor training just has like the one trainer,
20,
30
in a class.
We kind of limit it kind of 20 in a class, like absolute max, and at least with the 2 trainers, it's still kind of one trainer with 10 clients, absolute max.
And saying that though, 2 or 3 are only working at a time per trainer, because obviously other people are resting.
Oh, brilliant. Awesome. So we normally finish the podcast with just a few questions. And it's because the 2 of you maybe might have different answers, so just both go for it. The first one is there a book that you guys recommend that it doesn't have to be training related, it could be life related, or just a novel or something that you really enjoy? Is there one?
I read, when I first started getting into reading, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I thought it was a really good book. I really rate it. Kind of just opened up my insight on how the world kind of runs, and I really rated that, so it's probably my recommendation.
It's a great book.
I'm reading 4 Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss at the moment, so pretty keen to finish that off, and it's pretty interesting at the moment too, so it's a good book.
Awesome. They're both pretty good good books. Awesome. The second one, is there a daily habit you have, or it doesn't have to be a habit, or just something that you do every day that you think is critical to your success as as a business owner?
Probably first thing we do, we work at Nate's house, and his dad's let us have like the spare room. We've kind of turned it into like an office.
It's just getting bigger and bigger.
First thing we kind of do every day, we just go in there and we just go right on the whiteboard straight away.
What's in our mind of what we want to do.
So I suppose but don't even think about it now. It's just a habit.
It's a habit.
Just go in, you write on the whiteboard. You look at what was on there yesterday. If it hasn't been ticked off, just add that to the list. And
big believers also in like 1%ers as well, like just doing that little thing, whether it be like if we're resting, we'll still move or do some kind of conditioning or some kind of movement activity, and just ticking, like Mitch said, writing down some things on the board and just ticking them off every day. Might not be big things, but just getting 1 or 2 things done, it makes a difference as the days go on.
100%. Sweet. And last one is, do you have any bit of advice that you would give maybe your previous self as you embark this journey, and is there something that you would advise?
I don't know, just kind of be consistent and stay at it. I mean, you think that it's all going to happen very, very fast, but it doesn't. It's a slow process. But yeah, just keep at it and just slowly chip away the blocks, and you'll get there.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Just we had all the big goals. It's like, yeah, we're gonna get here, and then
it doesn't happen.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's a very slow process. But we're realizing that now, and it's good.
Yeah, beautiful. And how can some of our listeners maybe get in touch with you if they want to start training or just following some of your content? What's the best way to do that?
So Instagram, we post on that. Facebook, so it's just Active Habits on Facebook. Instagram, I think it's Active Habits _ Yep. Personal account, mine's Rancy with an underscore.
Mine's Mitch Moore with an underscore.
Yeah. And then also our website, so www.activehabits.com.au. It's currently getting rebuilt now, so it's a little bit iffy at the moment, but when that gets up and done, then definitely reach us there. It's got all our class times and all that kind of stuff on there.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to seeing the next 3 franchises come up over the next couple of years, hopefully.
Cheers, boys.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely keep in touch, and looking forward to seeing your success.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us on.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.